Well, hey kids, got another quick and simple maintenance project to do today, so I'm going to film it to show you how to do it. What am I talking about? Well, we noticed recently, after a little more than 2 years in our Brinkley Z3100, that we were starting to get a smell coming up through the kitchen sink of our gray tank. What we've discovered is what we need to do is replace the P-trap that is in the sink. Brinkley doesn't use your standard U-shaped P-traps that you'll find under your sink in the house. They use what's called a waterless P-trap. It's just kind of a straight piece of pipe like this that has a little flapper inside. Here's what the inside looks like, and here's how it works. So you'll notice that inside of here, there is a little rubber flap that will open and close. So when water is running through it, it will open up, and then when the water stops running through it, it will close back up. And by closing up, that's going to stop the smells from coming from your gray tank back up into your rig. So I ordered this off of Amazon. It's just a waterless P-trap kit done by Unigard. I bought it through RecPro on Amazon. I don't remember exactly what the price was, but I'll drop it right here. I will also drop a link down in the show notes and a QR code so that if you need to order it, you can order it right there. All right, let's get under the sink and see how this whole thing hooks up. And welcome to the underside of the sink. All right, what are we gonna need to fix this? Well, even though that kit came with some elbows and another piece of straight pipe, the only thing that we're gonna need is the actual waterless P-trap itself and these 2 washers that came with it. So let me show you where the P-trap currently resides. Again, this is under the sink of a Z3100, but I'm assuming it's going to be like this under the sink of just about any Brinkley out there. Here's where the sink comes down. There's an elbow, and then that's your waterless P-trap. It screws on either side, so it's just a really simple job of unscrewing that to get it out. All right, let me get you into a position so you can see my hands doing what I need to do. Stand by. So the first thing that we're gonna do, now that we have under the sink kind of cleaned out, at least cleaned out to where we can get into it, is I'm gonna put a rag down there to catch any water that may fall from this when we unscrew it. All right, now let's just unscrew this thing. All right, so I'm gonna unscrew this side first, and it's just hand tight, so I'm just gonna grab it and twist it to loosen it up. And there's a little bit of water coming out of there. Okay, so now that's undone. Now, if I can get both hands in here, we just have to twist this to unscrew it from that side. All right, so that's out. As you can see, there's a little rubber washer in there. There's also, you can't see it because it's black on black, but there's a little rubber washer up in there. I'm gonna pull this rubber washer out right there. I'm also gonna take a rag and just kind of wipe this out up in here to get any gook off of that. I'm gonna take my new rubber washer and just pop it in there. And then I'm gonna take my new P-trap and I'm gonna put a rubber washer in that part to this side. I'm just gonna put that in there. All right, now I wanna look and see which way I want this facing me so that that P-trap or that flapper is going to be down. So to have that flapper down, I want to be looking at it like that. All right, so this is going to be facing out that way. You also want to make sure that the flow is going the right way. All right. So let's pop that in there. I'll just hold that rubber gasket for now. Let's tighten it in there on this side. till that's nice and tight. And then I'm gonna replace that little rubber washer. Oh, if my arms were a little longer, it would be helpful. All right, there we go. That rubber washer is in there. And now let's just crank down this side. And you don't have to make this super gorilla tight, just kind of hand tight so it doesn't leak. So that's in there. Now the last thing I want to do is I'm going to go up top and turn some water on and just make sure nothing leaks. All right, water's running, so I'm just going to let it run for a minute or two. Just make sure nothing in here leaks. All right, kids, I think we're good. I don't see any leaks on that. Water's been flowing in it for about a minute and a half. Nothing's leaking. I could hear the water flowing through, so this should have fixed our problems. Hold on, I'll meet you back up top. Okay, so here's the one that I pulled out. Now, full disclosure on this, I did pull this just a couple of days ago because I wanted to see if just cleaning it out was going to solve the problem, which it sort of did, but I didn't want to leave this in there because that flap is still not closing completely. So on the inside of this, I mean, I've cleaned this up quite a bit. It was really, really gunked up in here, and this flap was sitting permanently open. Now that I've fixed it, it kind of doesn't close all the way. It's sort of sitting a little bit open. So that's the reason why I decided to replace it. So it's just that simple and easy to replace one of these. Don't let it scare you. You can absolutely do it. If you wind up feeling like you're getting gray tank smell into your rig, have a look at these waterless P-traps. You have, at least on our rig, we have 4 of them. We have one on the kitchen sink, one on the bathroom sink, one on the shower drain, and one on the drain for the washer and dryer. I think we're probably gonna have to replace these about once every 2 years, just because no matter how careful you are about things going in the sink, you always wind up with a little bit of grease and a little bit of gunk down there, and eventually these things just get clogged up and they stay open, and all that black tank smell comes back into your rig. So if you found this helpful, why don't you click on the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, leave us a comment if you've had to do this before and what your experience was like replacing your waterless P-trap. All right, we'll see you on the next one.